Any person that feigns being a friend to your face but is secretly trying to sabotage, it's a whole new level of fucking.
Put your feelings aside, give that one shot to try. I'm not that girl.
You keep asking, I'm gonna keep delivering another dose of Candidly AF. Sharon H. I asked you to watch all the way till the end to get the full empowerment intended for you all. Today's questions are in line with how to spot you are with the wrong friends. Warning signs you can't trust your friends. Hit the like button if you've ever had these concerns. I asked you to send me some questions on Instagram. Today I'll be answering a few of those and one I've pulled from viewer comments. Just remember, everything in this video is coming from my own perception and viewpoint. Take what advice you want and let the rest slide right off of you like Teflon. Straight up, what do you do with that wishy-washy friend? The one that always goes with the crowd. This is a tricky one, depends on the individual, I would say. Does this person have cunning, toxic traits, or does this person perhaps lack self-confidence? You know, a person that talks negatively about people 1 minute and then is right up their ass the next, then this is potentially a deceptive person. But be mindful, we are all sometimes forced into situations we have to be polite to someone we don't necessarily like. Be the bigger person. On the other hand, a person that comes across shy or timid, they may struggle inwardly. Some people struggle to think for themselves, or more so voice an opinion, because they're so used to being ignored or shut down. So they will either be quiet or seemingly go with the flow, even when it seems absurd for them to do so. When life or the people in it have beaten you down, being upfront can be petrifying. Sometimes we need to be the bigger person and take these kinds under our wing, help them come out of their shell. I remember I used to be petrified of being singled out to talk or answer a question. I was so fearful of ever having to get up in front of anybody. So much so that if I even bought a raffle ticket, I would literally sit with my fingers crossed, not hoping I would win, hoping I bloody wouldn't. The thought of getting up in front of anybody to collect my prize made my legs lose feeling. It would be far less painful to miss out on winning the prize. But if someone is triggering alarm bells within that they cannot be trusted, then our gut is usually pretty dead on. These people will follow the crowd and tell others what they want to hear because they're cunning as shithouse rat and they want to keep attention away from their own agenda. When you have a grown-ass friend who changes friends or who they're ass-kissing from 1 week to the next, then I'd say yes, they're wishy-washy as fuck. And where possible, I'd try to give them a wide berth. If you're watching them being shady and underhanded to others, there ain't gonna be nothing stopping them from doing the same to you. If you're watching them wipe others without a moment's hesitation and for no rhyme or reason and then moving on to the next, that's a surefire sign your days are numbered. Me personally, I don't trust anyone who treats me differently privately than openly. If they support others openly but not us, I don't trust them as far as I could throw them. Sometimes we want to see our friends there cheering for us, but if they ignore us openly but will cheer for others, then what you trying to hide, you slippery little fucker? If you're getting odd vibes, then keep your guard up strong and your emotions out of it. How do you address friends who support to your face but are secretly sabotaging you? You don't. As I've addressed similar before with these kinds, you give them enough rope and eventually they themselves will see them dangling. I cannot begin to even process what ticks behind the eyes of someone with this thought process. I mean, seriously, what the actual fuck? Any person that feigns being a friend to your face but is secretly trying to sabotage is a first-rate douche with problems that run far too deep for my comprehension. I cannot for the life of me understand the reasoning they could possibly have for this, except they are most likely harboring deep resentment and a whole bucket load of enviousness. I know this goes on because I've experienced it myself. It's a whole new level of fucked upness. You always know, we always know, we sense it. The dopey bastards often leave cookie crumb trails they're unaware of too. We can pretty much guarantee if someone's out to sabotage us, it'll be someone that we know, someone we've been good to, and many times someone that smiles to our face whilst twisting that dagger in our back. I most certainly wouldn't address them. I'd keep storing any evidence or documentation, proof of any crumbs left behind. Eventually, they'll completely slip up or brag to the wrong person. Anyone that consumed by enviousness will not always think rationally and will often be their own demise. Whilst they may pull the wool over our eyes for a little while, their true colours soon become very obvious to us, and their true intent stands out like dog's balls. Bite your tongue, bide your time, and let them bring themselves undone. Invariably, they will. Let the universe sort them out. What they've done to you will also be done to them in some way. Next, a viewer question from Deanne Ma. Hi Sharon, could you please do a video on this topic? What are the warning signs of an untrustworthy friend? And how can you tell if a friend is about to betray you or already has? I'd really appreciate it. Love this video, by the way. Thank you so much, Deanne. Many of the things I've already mentioned I think are signs of an untrustworthy friend. Signs you're with the wrong friends. Again, I think we always sense it too. We just know. I've often found the most untrustworthy friends are those that just seem to have come out of nowhere and began love bombing us. Practically kissed our ass. Except initially we didn't see that. We just saw good coming from them. We take them at face value, but they've often studied us and how we interact with others. They learn from our language cues. They learn how others close to us interact with us and we them. They then move on in like they are the friend we've always needed. This will continue. They will slowly weave their way into our circle, our crowd, whom only let them in because we invite them in. They will seemingly hold us in the highest regard, look up to us. But before we know it, they are well and truly in the thick of our circle and using that same love language on our friends, while slowly lessening the niceties and compliments that were once reserved for us. Their statements or comments to us become very generic, standoffish, even passive-aggressive. Yet the fawning and gushing will be all over them in our world we introduce them to by allowing them in. There's been a shift. They no longer want to see us on that pedestal they placed us upon. We are now competitors. They must knock from that pedestal, steal our crown. They will be sickeningly sweet to all those around us. If they even do bother to acknowledge us, the compliments will be no more. Or they will pick something to compliment that is not a direct compliment to us, ourselves. This screams of insecurity to me. Anyone who cannot bring themselves to say something nice to someone they are supposedly close to are insecure and jealous as fuck. Or if they ignore anything you put up with you in it, but they'll like or comment if you put up a meme or a pic of your dog, but will be all over everybody else's. They got a problem praising you. With these love bombers, we normally know they're untrustworthy or about to betray us because they'll begin watching everything from the shadows and acknowledging nothing. They don't want to point out you're good because if they say it out loud, it makes it true. Whose experience is it just me, or do these kinds all follow the same pattern? Hit the like button if you have. When we see them hone in and love bombing our friends thick and fast too, I'm unsure if they're hoping we see or they're just moving on to their next target. Sometimes these friends also become a little offstandish towards us too. We know we've never said a crossword to them or about them, but we always sense when there's a shift and iciness in the air, when they try to alienate us from our own friend. I'd like to think most of us have a pretty good sixth sense and bullshit radar, and know for the most part when someone is fucking with us and our reputation. The way I look at it, if I've been friends with you longer than someone I brought into the mix, and you wouldn't even know if it weren't for me, and they know I've always been solid with them, and they start to believe anything some joker's saying about me, then seriously, they can fuck right off ski with the horse they rode in on. Anyone that's supposed to be a friend that does not give us the respect of coming to us to hear our side, or takes anyone else at face value when we've been nothing but good to them, is a first-rate fuck knuckle who doesn't deserve us. It could be 1,000,001 signs that a friend is about to betray us, and I'd love if you'd share your experiences with us in the comments too, because all I can really share with you all is my experiences with it. But ultimately, I believe we always just know. They don't even have to open their mouth. Their body language and complete 180 behavior gives their game away. Give as good as you get, treat them as generic and indifferent, as they treat you. Don't go kissing their ass hoping they'll come around. Do you really want someone like that in your circle? When someone is trying to sabotage us, it is unlikely it will ever be a stranger. It will be someone we know, someone potentially close to us, someone that's got their knickers in a knot over the attention we are getting or something we're succeeding at. I actually had a psychic medium tell me several years ago that someone in my circle was drilling holes in my boat hoping I would sink. And I remember plain as day telling a group of friends, and I use that term loosely now, as one definitely was not. I remember telling them what had been said, and this one particular person very exaggeratedly gasped in horror. I actually got a cold shiver down my spine. Turns out this person was indeed trying to drill holes in my boat, and is to this day. Did I wrong this person? Not in the slightest. And there are so many people that can back that one up. On the contrary, I was too damn good to them. Others tried to warn me something was off. There was jealousy in play, but I fobbed it off, wanting to see the good in them. The problem is we do often want to see the good rather than listening to our gut and the better judgment of outsiders looking in. We have to listen to our gut always, and when others are trying to warn us with it. It's time to pull the plug on communications and back the hell away. Your gut's telling you something's off. Odds are something's off. Do what you feel you gotta do. Ultimately, you gotta do what's right for you. Thanks for watching. See ya.
Break out of your shell, meet me halfway.